It's exactly 3 a.m. Can't sleep again. Just watched documentary Traffic made by Pete Middleton and his fantastic team filmmakers. Up until this point, I really thought it was my amazing personality that the social workers had taken an instant dislike to. Turns out it's not. It's actually due to the problem. It's an absolute scandal. I don't even know where to begin. Social workers recently told a panel that they needed a supervision order because I was refusing to work with them, that I hadn't completed reflection work, and that the children were safe where they were. They neglected to inform the panel that there had been several reported incidents of child abuse from my children's father. Both my children faced incidents involving being kept out all night while dad drank at parties, strange men coming into the home, even on school nights, and drinking and playing music and keeping them up, dad assaulting my daughter on several occasions. This was justified that my daughter had to be restrained due to her behaviour. Now, a quick note on my daughter's behaviour. I did have concerns, not serious concerns, just niggles, that my daughter, who has a history of sexual abuse incidents against her, just had some emotional stress that she needed help with. She wasn't a violent child with me, she wasn't an overly aggressive child with me, she was a typical 10-year-old girl, she hated her family if you told her she did go for a shiver, and I taught her, along with her therapist, that she had to find an outlet, an appropriate time, place where she had to express her anger, and in the home, that was her room. She wasn't interfered with. If she took a tantrum, she was immediately pointed in the direction of the room. She never had to be manhandled, dragged to the point of physical injury. She went into her room, she never smashed her room, she never destroyed her room. She would scream, she would shout, she would call me for everything, saying that she hated me, she wanted a new family and everything else, and she was basically left to it. Moments later she would come out, she would apologise, she would be upset, she would get hugs, she would be reassured that everyone, absolutely everyone, even the idiot social workers, the lying, manipulative scum who have destroyed my children's lives, destroyed my daughter's confidence and her good name, gets angry. Everyone. Not a single person in this country, in this planet, can say there hasn't been a point in their life where they felt so angry that they've needed to vent, that they have not punched a pillow or shouted at a wall or shouted at someone. I took her to the doctors because she kept having nightmares, recurring nightmares from the child sexual abuse that occurred to her not just by a neighbour, but by members of her father's family, who social workers have placed her with, claiming that my daughter should have gotten over it by now, that I am refusing to allow my daughter to get over it. They claim that every day I sat my daughter down and reminded her of the god-awful, evil trauma that was caused to her by her family members on her father's side. They were boys under the age of 12, so it was never classed as an illegal act. So social workers have basically tried to bury the fact that my daughter was sexually abused and molested by the family that they have now placed her with. They have made it out that it is me that is upset and what's all over this. They forget the entire to edit that part out. That they have forgotten the reason that I took my daughter to the doctor in the first place was over concerns about her constant headaches, about her waking up in the middle of the night crying. She would often stay in 2, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning that she hated herself. She would bring up things like an argument or something she'd said to her brother weeks prior, that she hated him, and she would just remember during her sleep and wake up in absolute tears, feeling terrible. And yes, she shouldn't have said that to her brother at the time. She was sent to her room for saying that to her brother. But to have a reaction like that concerned me, that she wasn't properly processing her emotions, that she wasn't able to move on properly. We constantly spoke about moving on. We sang songs like Pixie Lot's Turn It Up, Turn It Up. Roar by Katy Perry was her favourite song. My daughter was at the point when social services interacted. My daughter was a successful figure skater. In just a year, she had outstandingly moved up through award levels. She had competed. She is just an incredible girl, an absolutely incredible girl. My daughter is outstanding. She's amazing, and she is an inspiration to anyone who has ever suffered at the hands of another. My son is one of the most charming little angels anyone could ever hope to have in their home. He had his moments. He would take the funniest little tantrums. I'm not going to lie, it was incredibly hard not to laugh, because it was always over such meaningless little things, and yet he was always so caring over big things. He accepted that his sister had things in her head that upset her, and she just didn't know how to fix them. He had an amazing amount of friends. He was funny, he was cute, he was overly loving. He was just an incredible boy, or was an incredible boy. No one met my son that didn't instantly fall in love with him, especially women. He was quite the little charmer. Back to what I was saying. Yeah, at the panel we discovered as being influenced by me. They claim that online I have contacted her through social media. They did, in a meeting which I have recorded, which I will be putting online, state that they had evidence. They must obviously think that I am thick, that I'm going to continue to fall for their lies like I did when they first became involved, that I'm going to actually believe a word that comes out these filthy, disgraceful women's mouths. I mean, they are so unbelievably, how would you put it? They've got some brass neck on them, is what we would say in Scotland. They are so brazenly lying to courts, manipulating forms, deliberately changing meetings to days where they know I'm working. When I say I can't attend, they tell the panel that I'm refusing to attend. They have now not only cost me my children, they have destroyed my life, they have cost me my business, as I can no longer work with children. They have cost me 2 new jobs because they repeatedly change contact days. They tell me that they will work around any new shifts as long as I give them the shifts. I give them all my shifts. They then say that they can't arrange contact around my shifts, so I'm going to have to quit my job. I have lost my car. I have lost my confidence. My children are crying out from constant abuseful attacks from their father and their father's sister, and their paternal grandmother. They have stated that they times of neglect where they have been left with, even on Christmas Day. My son told me just last week how he was made to stand in the kitchen as there was no room for him with the rest of the family. He then expressed that there wasn't enough food for him, so he had to check the cupboards and eventually found beetroot to eat. Now, my son is the fussiest eater on the planet. He does not eat well. He has, over the years, been to dietitians because of my concerns about how little he ate. He is physically sick. If you put any new food down him, he is physically sick at the thought of having to chew food. And to hear that he was starving when the entire time he lived with me, I had to literally force the food into him. People would laugh. They would say, if he doesn't eat his dinner, tell him he's going to his bed. Doesn't matter if it's 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whenever. The boy goes to his bed. If he refuses to eat his dinner, he doesn't get to play, he doesn't get to stay up, he goes straight to bed. My son would sit there and actually say, when I put his dinner down, Mummy, can I just go to bed? I'll just go to bed. I'll put myself in time out. I don't want you. He, at the age of 3, ended up in hospital with malnutrition and dehydration. After I followed strict advice from a dietitian who said if he's hungry he will eat it, if he's thirsty he will drink it, only give him water, and put his main meals down in no substitute snacks, no toast, no yogurts, nothing in between. He needs to learn that he needs to eat his meals. He needs the nutrition, he will grow properly if you don't force this, if you don't stick by your guns. And 11 days later I had to rush him to the hospital because I couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't take that my son was lying there pretty much lifeless. I had left 13 messages for the dietitian to call me back. She never did. After my to the hospital, they could see by his records what had been going on. So no social services weren't brought into it because of that. They themselves tried to get in touch with this dietitian, and she simply responded by saying that he was no longer on their caseload, that they had exhausted all avenues. So for this child who is strictly against eating anything other than my mum's Christmas roast dinner because she overcooks the meat so he doesn't have to chew it, and macaroni and pizza, for him to actually go searching and lift a jar of beetroot and eat it because he was so hungry that there was no food left at the table. My son would normally be celebrating with the fact that he had not been given a meal to be forced to eat. They also made claims that, aside from daddy drinking, that their aunt had physically abused him, grabbed him by the arms. Had to go one night as the aunt had prepares for one of her half cousins, who's only 4. This wee boy is used to getting exactly what he wants. He's only a child, he doesn't know any better because no one's taught me any better. But my son had to share a room with him for 3 weeks During that time, my son had his child's toys removed, which he'd just gotten from his birthday, and given to this child to keep permanently, because this child wanted them. My son was left without any toys. I brought more of his favourite toys down. Those also were given to this child. My son, in the middle of the night, this child decided that he wanted to be cruel, and took my son's blanket off him and his pillow. My son couldn't cry out for help because every time that he'd been punched in the face or smacked with a toy before and tried to tell on this child, he was told he was only a baby and to stop picking on him. Now, the entire time my daughter was there, she claimed the same thing. They were abused. She is not saying that every single second of the day was miserable. She loves her big cousins dearly, who are all elder teenagers. They all work, they all go to college, and they are good kids. But what she did claim was that her brother also backed this up, was that no one got up in the morning with them. The kids were left on their own, and they weren't allowed to wake any adults up, otherwise they were aggressively told off for it. This meant that my son one day had to go to the kitchen on his own and climb up on what he described as a washing basket so he could reach the cupboards to try and get some bread. The basket collapsed and my son fell and hurt himself. All these claims social workers ignored. I had a children's advocate appointed as social workers didn't feel the need. They immediately started talking to children. The children expressed their upset and their concern. During this entire time, I had not signed a Section 20 agreement. Not once. They tried to blackmail me into doing it twice. Now, before this happened, they came into my life. I had wrongly been placed on anti-anxiety and antidepressant medication. I had been diagnosed but not been told I had been diagnosed. I had went to the doctors with exhaustion, and for a mother who was working 2 jobs at the time, whose daughter wasn't sleeping all night, whose son was up at 6 o'clock each morning when I had maybe only gotten to bed at 3 o'clock from dealing with his sister. Looking back, it's no wonder I was exhausted. It was later clarified after I demanded blood tests and looking at the other avenues that I had anemia. A doctor who could not be bothered to give me the time of day, who answered 2 phone calls in the 5 minutes that I was in her room and made 2 of her own, who then had 2 members of staff interrupting whilst I was speaking, simply handed me the prescription, and then later on in court claimed that she had explained everything. I had stated at the time that I had been given this the last time I was there, and it had negative side effects. I felt drowsy, I felt drunk, I felt worse than what I did when I was tired. All I was needing was something. I was actually looking for advice. I was looking for some reason why, if I was getting 9 hours sleep some nights, why was I still exhausted the next day? And the truth is, I was a lone parent. My ex was a deadbeat dad. He took the kids when it suited him. The kids, he would be perfectly fine and a perfectly good dad for weeks on end. And then something would happen, he would decide he wanted a drink. His house would be full of, reprobates. Now he is a 42-year-old man. He was 10 years older than me when he engaged a relationship with me when I was pretty much just a child myself. And he still associates with young teenagers. Now the kids were coming back one incident that came back covered in flea bites. From head to toe, no exaggeration, I had to take them to the doctors. It's all on their medical files. My children were covered in head to toe in flea bites. I immediately thought it was a rash. I mean, I have had pets, dogs, cats. My mum was nicknamed Dr. Dolittle. We had horses, we had lizards, we had mice, we had all sorts of pets going on. When I was growing up to this point, there was 4 dogs in the family, and cats. I've never seen flea bites like this before. Not to this extent. This was one weekend of staying in their father's home. I contacted my dad, told him what was going on, advised him that he would need to, buy flea powder. What he was doing was he was illegally subletting his council flat out to one of his nephews and his girlfriends. They had got the kitten. The kitten obviously had fleas, which many of them do. It's a common problem, but it's when it's left untreated that it poses a risk. So I then advised my ex that he would need to buy appropriate treatment powders, carpet powders, everything. He would need to strip the beds, put them in a high degree wash, hoover mattresses, hoover all the carpets, etc, etc, etc. I wasn't being vicious about it because I can remember quite a serious outbreak my mum had in our house when we were younger, when we took in a stray dog. And I can remember having to go through all that with them. I regularly give my pets treatments to prevent them, even though they rarely have any other contact with any other animal. My ex became increasingly aggressive over this, claiming that I was trying to insist that he had a filthy home, and it went on like that. They must have picked it up off a neighbour's dog. How long were they with the neighbour's dog? Ignorant and thick. They also, my daughter claimed that she would go into her bed and find cigarette butts. The place was stinking smoke because her father always allowed her older cousin, whose child had been removed from her due to behavioural issues. The mother's behavioural issues, not the child's. Allowed her to sleep in the bed, have parties, basically, and that's all fine and well, but at least wash the bed when they're done. My son would face things as simple as he was scared of the dark, Daddy wouldn't give him a night light. The older cousin that was just staying apparently with his dad, would often scream at him, and so would his girlfriend, for turning lights on because they had to pay the electricity. So my son was so I arranged for a night light, a lamp, for my son to take to the home. I did everything in my power to keep up a relationship with the children and their father. I gave my daughter a phone. My partner was increasingly abusive, both emotionally and physically. It eventually came, anytime I tried to form some kind of friendship with him, he took it as a green light that we were getting back together. Once I put him in his place and told him that wasn't what I was doing, I was just trying to form a strong family bond, so to show the kids that people can move on, people can get along, we would grown up with them. He would then either go off in a tantrum with me, he would stop seeing the kids, he'd go to the drink vendor, and it was all my fault. So eventually I arranged it, and the court at the time arranged it so that he would collect the children from my mother's, drop them off at my mother's, that he would not be given my address as he kept breaking into my home when intoxicated. I have evidence, I have witnesses, I have police statements, I have neighbours' statements from at the time. But social workers, guess what? They won't listen. They just won't listen. Because believe it or not, it has never happened ever before. An emotionally abusive and manipulating man is so cooperative with them, and to them that means that he is the perfect father. They have covered up all these things. These were all historical before my children even went to stay with their dad by order of the social work. And they covered up the recent behaviour, which includes my daughter vandalising her father's home. Right, and I hate my dad all over his walls, tearing down wires. During restraining her, she had obtained injuries to her wrist, her ankles, her nose. She was elbowed in the nose. She was punched in the chest. She was punched in the stomach. All of these have been struck off as being investigated and necessary actions taken to contain my daughter and her behaviour. They say that I'm telling her to do this, that I'm influencing them through social media somehow. They try to pretend that I had this, that they had evidence against me, and I called them out on it. They eventually admitted that they didn't. They are using the fact that she went onto my Netflix account from her father's home, from her father's living room, in front of her father, and wrote, change my name from blank to hi mummy, love you. Because, well, it's hi mummy, all one word, L-U-V-U. Because let's face it, there's only space for a name, she can't really write much more. She did this after being refused phone contact with me. She did this after contact was cut. She did this after she was barred from writing the letters. She did this after she was cut off from all family members who have ever raised her, supported her and loved her. She did this because she lost her friends. She did this after she had to give up her passion for sport, for figure skating. She did this after all that. I replied, hi baby, one word, love you, L-U-V-U. This is classed as emotional abuse. This has been classed as me refusing to abide by the rules of social workers. This is classed as me refusing to cooperate or understand why contact has to be supervised and why they are disappointed that I cannot understand why they need to approve all messages like that. That message is what apparently is me telling my child to destroy her father's home. That message is what is telling my children to make up these claims of physical and emotional abuse at the hands of their father. That one message. My ex-partner has admitted to logging on to my Netflix account and using that Netflix account. He is also fully able to adjust settings, change names. He is claiming now that he has evidence that I did say more than that, but no one will show me. No one will actually provide this evidence to the panel. But no, of course, the children's panel, the children's reporter for Scotland, believes what they are saying because they are all together as one. They also tried to accuse me of communicating through YouTube. I was quite confused by this. I asked them to explain what God's earth was it all about. That YouTube was, as far as I was concerned, a video sharing portal. The only time I ever used YouTube was to watch funny cat videos. Me and the kids used to sit together and watch prank videos and things like that, you know. My son watches Stampy Cat, the world's best Minecraft player. I couldn't understand, and what they said was that you can leave They didn't know how it worked. They didn't use it. Their evidence turns out to be because they had went into their computer and discovered that the children had accessed YouTube 2 days before. So because they'd accessed YouTube, obviously they must be talking to me. They want to ask is they're under their father's care, with North Lanarkshire Council as supervising agents. Where was the supervisor? They can only get the internet access in the living room because my ex-partner steals his neighbour's Wi-Fi signal. So where was he? When my children apparently were scrolling through videos, apparently trying to find some way to communicate with him, where was he? Where was the supervisor? My son also then claimed that he was exposed to lesbian pornography, as his father had used his daughter's laptop, went into his daughter's YouTube account, which I had set up with all the safety procedures under my email address, so that I could control what she would see. He had changed the settings, so that it was no longer, like, it didn't have any parental controls or, under 18, over 18 stuff, things like that. He then started watching hot lesbian fucks, as my son put it. Well, no, sorry, I apologise, that's a lie. My son explained it as hot lesbian bad flirt. Not only had his father sat and watched this on his daughter's laptop, he had saved it into the children's favourite films, favourite watching, their favourite kind of section they have on YouTube. He then was caught masturbating by my daughter in the living room. Social workers covered this up. They said that he must have been exposed to that whilst in my care 6 months prior, that he could have picked that up anywhere at school. So I ask you, North Lanarkshire Council, who is responsible? Is it the school that my children attend, exposing my son to pornography? Or is it your social workers and their pathetic attempt at covering up the fact that they did not properly assess my ex-partner's home or himself for my children to safely live with? North Lanarkshire Council, this is all on you. These are your staff. These are your regulations. This is your budget. I'm not going to let it happen. I'm not going to let another family be destroyed by naive, ignorant, basically incompetent members of North Lanarkshire Council. I'm not. Over the next few videos, and I will still be creating videos, I will be talking about every single aspect of how North Lanarkshire Council and the Scottish Government has failed families, including my own, over the last few years, from housing policies to laws against children who are sexually abused, to school bullying and head teachers not being held accountable for their actions, to teachers assaulting children in Coatbridge schools and not being investigated. You heard me. A teacher in a Coatbridge primary school is accused of assaulting a 7-year-old little boy in their care because he wasn't walking fast enough. It is alleged by this child that this teacher did grab him by the jacket and the shoulder and push him, pull and push him through a doorway. This was witnessed by other children. These other children and their parents have offered to give statements. When I approached the school, the head teacher simply said it didn't happen and walked away. The school board did advise the police to be contacted. The police were contacted. The police went to the school. The school told a whole bunch of lies that they would meet with the parent, discuss everything, clarify the issue, make them feel secure that their children are safe at that school. They never did. They then assisted in children being removed from the home because the head teacher would lose her job should that case be pursued, that complaint be pursued with North Lanarkshire Council School Board. Your teachers, your doctors, your police, but most of all your social services are lazy, incompetent, thinking nothing more of their wages being paid into the bank at the end of the month. The best interest of North Lanarkshire's children, of Scottish children, of British children, is the total destruction and investigation into how you are all allowed to operate and the powers you have over families who are just like you, working hard to provide for their children, who seek support and advice when they are told to seek support and advice. With a mother with depression, are you, North Lanarkshire Council, are you seriously agreeing that mothers are afraid to go to GPs to ask for help? Because your social workers will twist, lie and manipulate everything and remove a child from future risk of emotional harm because the mother has depression. 1 in 4 members of the British people, that's probably the right way to say that, will at some point in their life be diagnosed with depression. Are you going to remove all of their children